They would eat you." For a moment, then she seemed lost in thought, but presently she turned upon me with, "You must go now, for any minute Buckingham may come in search of me. Long since should they have learnt that I am gone from the camp. They watch over me very closely, and they will set out after me. Go! I shall wait here until they come in search of me." "No," I told her. "I'll not leave you alone in a land infested by lions and other wild beasts. If you won't let me go as far as your camp with you, then I'll wait here until they come in search of you." "Please go," she begged. "You have saved me, and I would save you. But nothing will save you if Buckingham gets his hands on you. He is a bad man. He wishes to have me for his woman, so that he may be king. He would kill anyone who befriended me, for fear that I might become another's." "Didn't you say that Buckingham is already the king?" I asked. "He is. He took my mother for his woman after he had killed Wetton. But my mother will die soon. She is very old, and then the man to whom I belong will become king." Finally, after much questioning, I got the thing through my head. It appears that the line of descent is through the women. A man is merely head of his wife's family, that is all. If she chances to be the oldest female member of the royal house, he is king. Very naively, the girl explained that there was seldom any doubt as to whom a child's mother was. This accounted for the girl's importance in the community, and for Buckingham's anxiety to claim her, though she told me that she did not wish to become his woman, for he was a bad man and would make a bad king. But he was powerful, and there was no other man who dared dispute his wishes. "Why not come with me," I suggested, "if you do not wish to become Buckingham's?" "Where would you take me?" she asked. Where indeed? I had not thought of that. But before I could reply to her question, she shook her head and said, "No, I cannot leave my people. I must stay and do my best, even if Buckingham gets me. But you must go at once. Do not wait until it is too late. The lions have had no offering for a long time, and Buckingham would seize upon the first stranger as a gift to them." I did not perfectly understand what she meant, and was about to ask her when a heavy body leapt upon me from behind, and great arms encircled my neck. I struggled to free myself and turn upon my antagonist, but in another instant I was overwhelmed by a half-dozen powerful, half-naked men, while a score of others surrounded me, a couple of whom seized the girl. I fought as best I could for my liberty and for hers, but the weight of numbers was too great, though I had the satisfaction at least of giving them a good fight. When they had overpowered me, and I stood, my hands bound behind me, at the girl's side, she gazed commiseratingly at me. "It is too bad that you did not do as I bid you," she said, "for now it has happened just as I feared. Buckingham has you." "Which is Buckingham?" I asked. "I am Buckingham," growled a burly, unwashed brute, swaggering truculently before me. "And who are you who would have stolen my woman?" The girl spoke up, then, and tried to explain that I had not stolen her, but on the contrary, I had saved her from the men from the Elephant Country who were carrying her away. Buckingham only sneered at her explanation, and a moment later gave the command that started us all off toward the west. We marched for a matter of an hour or so, coming at last to a collection of rude huts, fashioned from branches of trees, covered with skins and grasses, and sometimes plastered with mud. All about the camp they had erected a wall of saplings pointed at the tops and fire-hardened. This palisade was a protection against both man and beasts, and within it dwelt upward of 2,000 persons, the shelters being built very close together, and sometimes partially underground, like deep trenches, with the poles and hides above merely as protection from the sun and rain. The older part of the camp consisted almost wholly of trenches, as though this had been the original form of dwellings which was slowly giving way to the drier and airier surface domiciles. In these trench habitations I saw a survival of the military trenches which formed so famous a part of the operation of the warring nations during the 20th century. The women wore a single light deerskin about their hips, for it was summer, and quite warm. The men, too, were clothed in a single garment, usually the pelt of some beast of prey. The hair of both men and women was confined by a rawhide thong passing about the forehead and tied behind. In this leathern band were stuck feathers, flowers, or the tails of small mammals. All wore necklaces of the teeth or claws of wild beasts, and there were numerous metal wristlets and anklets among them. They wore, in fact, every indication of a most primitive people, a race which had not yet risen to the heights of agriculture or even the possession of domestic animals. They were hunters, the lowest plane in the evolution of the human race, of which science takes cognizance. And yet, as I looked at their well-shaped heads, their handsome features, and their intelligent eyes, it was difficult to believe that I was not among my own. It was only when I took into consideration their mode of living, their scant apparel, the lack of every least luxury among them, that I was forced to admit that they were, in truth, but ignorant savages. Buckingham had relieved me of my weapons, though he had not the slightest idea of their purpose or uses, and when we reached the camp he exhibited both me and my arms with every indication of pride in this great capture. The inhabitants flocked around me, examining my clothing, and exclaiming in wonderment at each new discovery of button, buckle, pocket, and flap. It seemed incredible that such a thing could be, almost within a stone's throw of the spot where but a brief 2 centuries before had stood the greatest city of the world. They bound me to a small tree that grew in the middle of one of their crooked streets, but the girl they released as soon as we had entered the enclosure. The people greeted her with every mark of respect as she hastened to a large hut near the center of the camp. Presently she returned with a fine-looking white-haired woman, who proved to be her mother. The older woman carried herself with a regal dignity that seemed quite remarkable in a place of such primitive squalor. The people fell aside as she approached, making a wide way for her and her daughter. When they had come near and stopped before me, the older woman addressed me. "My daughter has told me," she said, "of the manner in which you rescued her from the men of the Elephant Country. If Wetton lived, you would be well treated, but Buckingham has taken me now, and is king. You can hope for nothing from such a beast as Buckingham." The fact that Buckingham stood within a pace of us and was an interested listener appeared not to temper her expressions in the slightest. "Buckingham is a pig," she continued. "He is a coward. He came upon Wetton from behind and ran his spear through him. He will not be king for long. Someone will make a face at him, and he will run away and jump into the river." The people began to titter and clap their hands. Buckingham became red in the face. It was evident that he was far from popular. "If he dared," went on the old lady, "he would kill me now, but he does not dare. He is too great a coward. If I could help you, I should gladly do so, but I am only queen, the vehicle that has helped carry down unsullied the royal blood from the days when Great Britain was a mighty country." The old queen's words had a noticeable effect upon the mob of curious savages which surrounded me. the moment they discovered that the